stands above you, a precious and complex wax painting on a single pane of glass. A jigsaw of broken shards falls into place in front of you, a ghostly reconstruction of the stained glass window. Before it was shattered, there was an older woman beneath the young one.
Buenas, estaba muteado. Estoy aquí de nuevo jugando a Disco Elysium, que me la he ido a jugar aquí para reconstruir la vidriera y parece que esta vez ha funcionado.
Unknown. A motor carriage. A gunshot. The escutcheon on her throne says, Irene the Navigator. She is depicted as an older woman wearing thick-rimmed eyeglasses, holding a golden rights apfel in one hand and a scepter in the other. This is the queen her innocence day advised. Above, she herself is whole. Small figures of women. Below both women, in luminous black letters, and then along the left side, après le mort.
Death, life again. This exaltation is common in Dolorian sacralism. In the early years, it was deemed subservient to use a strongly moral justice, union, prudence, and force. Eyes cool.
The mother of humanism towers above you, a wax painting on a cracked pane of...
Yo, mate, what's on your mind?
Yes, what is it?
The mother of human.
Welcome back.
The trap stands and the locusts, they're not
Good. Now don't answer that.
He doesn't want. The Jamrock shambles.
Encontrar mejor botín en los contenedores. Ya que también la verdad. Vale, tengo que ir al Whirling.
are beginning to die down. Look at those little... Oh, that's quite the sign. An eyesore too. Situation calls for a funeral, if you ask me. Police business. I understand. Anything I can help you with? Hello, dear. Thank you for doing that, dear.
Her smile is wearing.
Morel still isn't feeling well. I convinced him to stay at Gary's to get some rest. I'm afraid the cold has really gotten... I'm sorry, dear. Morel will eventually, or we'll talk Gary into going...
The lieutenant stares at.
No, you don't have to do that. That really is too much, sweetie. Thank you for your dedication.
Fuck that cough. It's not happy. Very strange.
Different? How? I'm not. It's,
And when a police officer asks,
Do you ever wonder if some lovely story from your childhood is just that? A story? Seeing the Insular India, Morel's so proud of it.
a terrible sting in the heart. Regret.
No, at least I don't think I did, but that I'm some queen of the cryptozoologists. That. And for years.
That I am a queen. An extra.
But now, we're both getting old, and he's still working himself sick out in those reeds looking for it.
The lieutenant opens his notebook, but doesn't write anything. An acorn is not the same as the tree. That requires time, diligence, and care.
But it is. We've spent years searching for the fact. If I hadn't led him down this path, oh, of course it counts for something. But we've had our hard times too. I was a paraplegic before we met. He didn't know before I arrived.
She has to swallow to relax her throat. It's keeping her from talking.
Maybe. What you have to know is the Insular Indian Phasmid, probably a true believer. Sometimes I still see it too.
Rising, unfolding from the reeds on a
Either way, I should go. Poor Morel is running a fever, and I need to get him home to Jamrock before we overstay our welcome with Gary.
Really?
Oh, sweetie. Please don't. Okay? It's 1113 Tabernacle Road.
A sigh. She doesn't think you'll need it.
Likewise, sweetie. Thank you for everything. Truly. Even though it turned out to be a
Dream, a fool's hope. Like that, she drives off. The guest is quiet as she gets to the doors, then pushes them open. Outside, it's snowing.
We should go too.
reality. How truly curious. A sort of philosophy.
Are they now?
A deep synthesis. I'll assist you however I can then.
All right, you're in. Begin with the first one. You'll appear worldly. It remains a mystery what you mean by this.
We're in Martinez, baby. A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover, pay it no heed. Aren't we all? Martinez is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour, north of the 881 and Jamrock. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has its charms, just not this time of year. I'm not a good ambassador. I've only been here once before, as a teenager. Not a lot of...
A brief spark of longing in an upright body.
This place used to be a province. Yes, I was slumming it with some girlfriends of mine. We had boats and... Don't hold it against me. The boys certainly did not.
There's a spark in the air, a live wire hanging in the wind, in your hungover neocortex. Then the sea air cools it down.
It's not really a sea, it's the Bay of Revachol. And the bay feeds into the ocean. Yes, we're on an island in an ocean, the world's largest body of water, the Insulindic.
Vast, lukewarm and unknowable, flowing in and out of sight.
Revachol, great kind.
As if it's self-explanatory, beyond patriotism, a fact.
History detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. The nations of the Occident, in the DeLorean century. 380 years ago, they say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. But by that I mean, we are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island, able to sustain. I think it's fair to say so. Martin.
A collection of tall ghosts behind the water vapor, light reflecting off the blue.
22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of the world building. The bottom floors are Insiacom. Coalition government, Insulindian Mission Command.
Silence. She lowers her head. The water, the light. There is no recognition, only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it.
We are where we are. I have no...
This is one thought.
Was there something else you wanted to know?
This has been informative. Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure... Might I suggest not asking them all right now?
Absolutely. My commitment here is long-term.
It's better not to eat all your candy at once.
Indeed. I'm always at your service. What I am not...
Everyone wants to talk about themselves.
A bird? Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games. Ah. Or two. A pre-revolutionary tenement. Oh, this one used to be mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo, really.
Splat, splat.
You could be wrong, but from here it appears as if she's running the brush.
Wonderful. The girl in the old lady rat looks like a sullen and rebellious member of yes, you and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too... She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own... I can't. That's how simple it is. One may dye their hair green and wear their grandma's coat, all they... All right. What next? These are unimportant times, detective. For the big time.
The smile of a predator. No doubt what she's got in mind.
All men are predators, dear. The revolution. It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists... They all...
She's not guilty.
Oh, and the anarchists too. Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people. Yes, the Red Deluge. Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist about head shooting. The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything. They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
She's...
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took... The liberals took everything. The coalition of nations. Grad. Best.
There is bitterness.
The moralists, but at least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol.
The rulers of Revachol. And also the world. These guys are...
This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist. Of course. Not easy to be moderate.
Rooty tooty.
That's the way of history. The turn of the century revolution. The revolution began in it wasn't a who, but a what. It made people overthrow their governments. Of course not. From Revachol and Grad? Not far. Why? You and I, officer.
Something tells you her life.
A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the Coalition of Nations. And you, of course, the citizens' militia.
The clatter of typewriter keys fills the main hall of the reappropriated...
The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol. Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eastlery communication. Telematic milieus, radiate 43 years. Hard to fathom, I know. The 20s saw a decade of urban war west of the river level. Of the 30s, things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the... No. It was a market mirage. Welcome to reality, baby.
From the looks of it, the 50s haven't been much better for the zone of control. You can see it in her eyes. Days slipping away.
I've no right to be dissatisfied. This shirt is Barbara Muscova. This raincoat is imperfect. We could have had so much more. They are what they are. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know? Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know.
see you again. Sure, officer. No.
Vigilance officer, what can this old carabiner do for you? There's nothing for you to understand here. Absolutely not. She died of pneumonia in Revachol Fair 91 in the Thorberg district. Her raid, this was the happiest day of my life. I was 22. I won her back.
You were like a dark cloud sucking.
Dark cloud. That sounds unpleasantly.
Those days and memories are gone.
The old soldier says nothing, but when his glance quickly runs over Gaston's,
It's a Belle Maigret.
his moves are quick and precise as he first.
This one's inoperable. The bolt spring is missing, and the mechanism is... I'm not surprised. There are probably lots of forgotten wartime weapons lying around. As for the rifle, I don't know what else to tell you. These BM-446s are an antique. No one...
All you observe is a veteran.
This is the uniform of the Royal Carabiniers.
Don't you mean, Frista?
You do not speak it.
There's something you missed. You will get to it. Don't worry.
Hi again, gendarme.
It's the sports. He's a sports guy. All about that physical prowess and athletic skill.
Bye-bye, gendarme.
It's you again. What is it?
Wait, stop. That man, bloated beyond all, below the damage. How old are you? That's where this is going. You could ask either one of them.
Huh? How old? 58. 42. And he was deceased. He had been decomposing for a week.
There's sight. Then here it comes.
Sure, you're 42.
Wait. This requires scientific measurements. To the laboratorium.
I was just thinking, what a nice evening. Clausier Amandu. Vrai de fort. A bad memory, officer. It's the past. I'm 28. Something stupid.
Wanna hear what's stupid? Somewhere in a one-room apartment on Boogie Street. His partner, he's warm, Mullins replies. Because
No, no. More. What I need is literature. It's fear of failure, fear of death, how it sucks to be Aranese.
if that's true, then
Nothing. I do nothing with it. Cool. Many things.
it's the world's most Miss Aranier. Now there, all things considered,
It's a beauty pageant. It's a competition. When you have the fewest yes. I'm afraid.
Why is that?
Because it's buried in a sealed plastic bag at an undisclosed location on the coast.
Thank you for your candor.
They say so in your tourist brochure. Keep travel documents. If I were to lie to you, I would come up with a more mainstream name. Look, officers, I like this place. I don't want to be okie dokie.
if any of this made her nervous, it certainly doesn't.
The record, yeah.
No one likes to talk about their dirty laundry and their empty bottles. Maybe if you
I did not. Mystery solved then.
there may be more to this mystery at some late.
Huh.
She's straight as a stick. She feels like quarry.
A peephole?
Yes, looking into your bedroom, miss.
Okay.
They jitter of fear and discuss moves through.
Do you think this is somehow connected to me? Okay.
Unfortunately, no. But if I were to guess,
Shit. I don't know. Maybe he's been there for a long time. I'll be fucking covering it up with a lot of tape, that's for sure. Okay.
She's lost in thought, eyes narrowed. For
Thank you.
technically, possession of narcotics is legal. No, don't listen to the stiff. Be cool.
With money, sir. It's not exactly the NT-star size caboodle I intend for it to be one. Very funky. It is.
The lieutenant makes an. He finds the answer unsatisfying.
Yeah. I've contaminated it. The contamination spreads from room to room. For me, it's talk around the establishment is you have an industrial sad spill in there.
Somewhere below, military-grade SAD is dripping off the walls. You should say the first thing. It's honest.
That's where it always comes from, isn't it? From the head and from the past. Sounds like an advanced form of what I've got, with a bit of old love sprinkled on top. Are you sure? Love is terror.
Sheer terror, panic, and screaming.
I'm wintering.
how long have you been staying here?
About 4 months. I came in November. Here in the Whirling, here in Martinez, or here in Revachol? Because it's the funkiest building in Martinez. And because all the other buildings are bombed to hell. Okay.
Watching herself reflected in the bedroom window.
Yeah? All right.
This window is pristine on the inside, smooth as following your lead.
Looks like it, yes.
You know which window is not been recently yes, that one. Cold wind is seeping in right.
Looks like it, yes.
You know which window has not been recently replaced? Whatever it is. Hear that? Magnesium. That's what the magnesium levels in your blood are dangerously low. Yes, and it's critical. Look at you. Maggot sideways. One stroke. Don't be so modest. He's having one. Yes, if you want to live. Just remember, it's not the alcohol, and it's certainly not the nor smoking for. The note is written with a blue pencil on a... As you hold it in your hands, it makes an uncomfortable crunching sound. It's a sordid feel. Some secrets are better left It occurs to you that you're not even holding the... It smells like a dead... Why? Why did you think about it? Look at your hands. Now you're just flicking that shit everywhere. This is a disaster.
Yes? What is it? Okay.
What? No.
Jean, he's not right.
Yes, and I'm wondering.
Yes? Did you want something from me? Yes? It means... What precinct?
Am I from?
Fucking deranged. Again? I can't believe this shit. I'm going to say no, okay?
Jean.
Okay, I was clearly wrong. He is a
I'm not...
It's not my style.
Hi again, gendarme.
It's the sports. He's a sports guy, all about that physical.
Bye-bye, gendarme.
The lights are so pretty when it gets dark.
The girl keeps her hand.
What do you mean, sir?
She knows where this is going. She looks around at the lieutenant facade of true professionalism. She brings out her.
And you knew this from me keeping my hands folded? Well, that proves nothing.
She actually is impressed. This is more like a defensive reflex. She nods, half provocative.
Maybe so, sir. Okay, I know it's a bad habit, and I shouldn't. It was okay, sir.
There's more that can be achieved here. Ask her to do the same.
You're quite sober.
The lieutenant does not flinch at the comment. He does not flinch even a single bit.
I sure hope you are, sir.
There she stands, swaying on her feet. Assaulted because you know each other. She's been talking to you so openly because you've talked before.
Yes, sir. Maybe you're interested in books?
Give me a moment. What? No. Nobody tells me. If it ain't my business, I'll keep my... think we'd all be better off if... Ask away, policeman. The hell am I supposed to know? Another nut job,
She really doesn't like those.
Some lunatic lost his mind.
With how small these rooms are.
People come and go. I don't keep an eye on every... No one lives there. It's been empty for months. Impossible. I would know if someone had moved it. Maybe it's those countercultural people again. Breaking into a house like... Great. Young people. They're worse than rats. You know, always littering. Oh, that one is a scientist. I think he studies astrology. Something to do with all those stars around his door. The symbol of what and how? Huh. I thought Revachol was the capital. I don't want to talk about DeWitt. Addicts. All of them. They don't like me.
So she does... It didn't get physical.
We saw unpaid utility bills.
No one likes them in this building. It's only because I don't like talking about those people. The artiste? Nothing I can do about her, I'm afraid. She leaves an old lady to have... Oh, no.
You hear someone walking around inside. Scare them. There's no sweet talking your way in there. Be official.
That was smart. Yes?
Satisfied? My name is Marielle Charpentier, and I'm an agent with Martinez Realty.
Boy, there are a lot of different keys there. Her voice is really cheerful, despite her obviously.
Do you want to see my ID as well? You can't
It feels flimsy in hand, with the words
Thank you. Do you have any questions? I need to get it ready for the next lease, but as you can see, the previous tenant completely trashed the place. It was some kind of a moribund old man who used to be a business owner. You'd think they'd make rent.
A sudden serious look crosses her face.
But that was months ago. Oh, that's another huge mess. The former tenant owes us 3 months of rent. And again, I have no idea how stupid
So preppy. She's probably on some low-grade performance enhancement.
A hole in the wall. Can you believe it?
Oh, it irks her. The incompetence.
Don't ask me what happened with the wall. I have no idea. Both apartments are now Of course.
Give me a moment. I see. I hope some good people are finally going to move in. This place needs them. We won't be killing anyone.
She's seen it. The cast bust depict
the white star, the photos on the wall.
shift in temperature. A former architect stands before a slice of window. It's red from the cold. Faint pencil lines. It's clean and empty. With new...
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
I don't believe it. I've never known those.
The bemusement in her voice doesn't fully mask genuine tenderness.
There'll never be skulls, but their hearts are in the right place. Fat chance, but you can still do your...
She throws you.
Have you noticed the quiet? Every so often, this place is a sepulchre. I don't believe it.
The bemusement in her voice doesn't fully mask Jenny.
There'll never be skulls.
She throws you a constant.
Have you noticed this place is... I don't...
The bemusement in her voice.
There'll never be skulls. Thank you for passing on the message. Now run along.
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here.
Yes? Me? I don't see how my life is that's a fact. That's correct.
That makes him a...
I can assure you, detective, that I've passed all the...
You may not remember taking any little tests, but you're strong as it...
That's good to hear. That's because I'm half Seolite, or quarter. It's a part of the world, officer. A geopolitical entity, and a geographic... I can see you're disappointed.
He's glad to have shut down.
No.
Your brains, the eyebrow, it's like you're locked down.
Something the matter?
This guy's got authority off the charts. Nothing. You better hope he doesn't abuse. The lieutenant relaxes his eye.
What do you mean? I have no idea what you're talking about. What? Think?
The lieutenant produces his small blue notebook. That's where his You're super lucid.
Good. Let's change the subject. Excuse me? You have a distinctive way. I hope you don't take this the wrong way. It's just a collegial observation. in the 50s. They say it's a sin.
Yes, but containers contain things. Shiny things.
I'm sure you don't. It's just a stupid.
Passing along frivolous interdepartmental stereotypes is not usually his.
Estoy básicamente haciendo tiempo para poder, hasta las 10 del juego, para poder continuar con las misiones.
Mr. Dubois, let's hear it, Harry. Of course, Harry, of course. I'm always happy to educate 2,300...
And they're all well motivated. At least...
Very nice, Harry. Most certainly. By all means, Harry.
Absolutely. I'm always... Oh, yes, yes. I leave all kinds of notes. Oh, yes. I've been taking special whirling borscht to the men. It's very, very good. Makes a man feel so...
Power borscht, huh? Never heard of it.
Yes, yes. I'm taking it to them. The borscht keeps them happy and in fighting spirit. Oh, the whirling's cook. He makes it. Them is always talking with... Oh, sure, mister. Sure. You do that.
He didn't actually understand what you meant.
Mr. Everett doesn't really... Mr. Edgar is Mr. Everett's brother. Huh? Sure, he's a union man through and through. Good guy. Honestly, I don't know what he does for us, but it must be important because everybody likes him. Yes.
Oil for the wheels.
Whoa, he's really something. He doesn't talk much to me usually, but when he does, I don't really understand. Once he said he's a drag... Oh, Titus is a longshoreman through and through. He was born on a boat, they say. His veins are probably filled with salt water, I tell... the night guard. Ooh, he's a peculiar fellow. He's the strong... We talk all the time, but I don't really know much about him. He plays petanque with my old human stud. They lived on the same street they're in... Mr. Martin, yes. Don't... Sure.
No.
There must be some.
Mr. Clare, also, to serve. Idiotic communism is the single greatest country. Above all, rampant multinational finance still reigning large. Offshoots of the Seminese people. I am not surprised to enjoy the South Island race. Haplogroup A4A. We are the future. I am a descendant. The narrow streets of Louis are with me in my genetic dreams. I see young Seminese women walk into the grey mass of Ile-de-Fantôme, waiting on immaculate conception from the pay. About it.
We would be appreciative if you did not.
I'm from Puron. And no, it is not just. You have heard enough about our phylogenetic secrets for today.
Ask what kind of races there are first. Classification.
Do you?
There are three. Those are the Seminese. A receding genetic pool has led them out. You know them by the names of the nation states. The Oranese, the Mound are proof that you can have too much Occidental racial purity and Tassom-centric culture. Inbreeding has led to a lactose-intolerant subrace whom no one can take seriously.
Colorful tassels are, let's be honest, not a good sartorial choice for this century. You might want to avoid what
the Vespertines and Messenians of Vesper and Messina, the ancient myth, the other large on the overproduction of sebum. Sebum is leaking into their brains, making them less as proven by the Mound and the Mesk. Occidental type A is in retrograde. The Seminese and the Aripajit are omnious. The indigenous people of this, the Insolindi archipelago. The Seminese inhabit the southern islands. I am the indigenous people of this, the Insolindi archipelago. The Seminese inhabit. The Areopagites are sleek, long-headed. The Seminese are powerful, mesomorphic. Former is an immutable progenitor. The latter is perfected and adapted. Together they form the Semeno-Areopagite or Semeo-Pagite super race. That is all.
Nature is not capable of more.
Type B are the anaerobic races, amorphous non-competitors of the great race. The Koikos and the Vachonniers. They are mud-colored.
The Khoikhoi Okra, Yugo, Zipsk, Chest, et al. Are what you would call.
To an untrained eye, the Khoikhoi appear white and pinkish, like a hand on which. Look into their eyes and you will see. They are of a distinct muddy color, and so is their skin. Pinkness is a racial quality that has to be earned through centuries of advanced ballistic warfare, cultural domination that the glad people have undergone for drinking alcohol and smoking the degenerate tabac, the Khoikhoi, the countless micronationalities inexplicably obsessed with the dark. The only thing the Revacholians halfway between Tipa and Racial control. Two makes to know right from wrong. You tried your degenerate little revolution, which was the single greatest failure committed by humans in our 8 chips. The F are a museum of failed chimeric experiments and tragic maladaptations. They are tortured creatures waiting. Lesser races like the mosquito, a grotesque mixture of a masked woman and a Seminese man. Only possible if the mother is masked and the father Seminese. The other way around, they fail to produce offspring. The mosquito is born sterile, like a donkey. All they have left is to ride customized motor carriages with hydraulic suspension, listening to aggressive El Mariachi music to vent their impotent despair. Then there is the Simino Koiki Chimera. Are you sure you wish to know of the Simino Koiki Chimera? It is not an aesthetic sight. The Koiko, as you know, are very singular, especially when they meet the rich man. Racial Saint, this will never happen.
There is a strange sadness in this tone, a less than heroic man.
The heart that
He does not seem angry.
you understand nothing. To solve the great, you need to internalize. I cannot possibly imagine.
I think this racist is better than the last, but the next racist will be to really good one. There always is.
Race is reality. I am not the first line of defense. I am the last. In addition, these so-called Hardy boys, the Hardy manlets are on the pay of the company. I answer to the union alone. And I do this out of race heroism. Finance is an alien concept to the Simmons. Now leave me be. Racists are generally not very good examples of their race.
Welcome to Revachol.
I am not like them. I am cranial.
True, that is a noble cranium, but you got a hard look in yourself.
Correct.
Hola, Wandering Man. How can I help you?
Was there something you needed?
Well, well, bringing him that. door is made of... This door is made of metal. No one answers.
Let's go.
The greatest innocence. Browsing through, you can do it. Your educational survey is done. Did you catch? It seems right. Dolores Day. Correct. Nothing as the first question to Dolores. Incorrect. Even though the words most associated with her rule are l'amour, la compassion, la autodiscipline, love, compassion. Please, relax. Incorrect. Even though the words most associated. Please, relax. Correct. Franco Negro attempted to solve question. Okay, it wasn't Laura. Incorrect. No, stop thinking. Correct. There have been the most famous and important of these was Ernest Pasternak. He was in final stretch. You've come so incorrect. Incorrect. He correct. Everything from Inter y Soleri and more. Congratulations. A C. You would have done better if you...
Give me a moment. Ask away, policeman. The hell am I?
She really doesn't like those nut jobs. Bad blood.
Oh, that one is a scientist, a future scholar. I think he studies something to do with all... That's what I said.
The lieutenant shakes. Come on, people. Try.
Oh, no.
As you approach, this must be it. Beyond the... Somehow, the acrid... No, that's just...
Just look at these pigs sniffing about after hours. Must have slipped my mind. You know how it goes.
The metal grill is... You notice the lieutenant is looking uncustomarily anxious. He wants so badly to draw his...
Something's not right here. Which is just to say, we should be prepared for any...
The clang of metal, a pair of frightened ears, cowering.
Who's there? Is that you, Maurice? Who said communist? Did we say communist? Get out of here.
For a moment,
What's the passphrase?
there's no response. You begin to wonder, no, this.
All right. The key's taped to the back of the door frame. Just make sure you put it back and do wash the concrete. Shaman?
Have fun at your under...
The two young men are either oblivious to or ignoring your entrance. Their attentions are fixed on whatever it is they're stacking in the middle of the floor. Matchboxes, it appears.
I think it's holding, Alexis.
It is. It's holding.
It's definitely not holding.
Careful, careful. Damn, hardly any difference. You two.
They should know the meeting starts at 10 p.m. sharp.
One leader and one follower. There's a great deal of tension in this young man's shoulders. Meanwhile, his companion inclines toward him.
Are you saying you haven't done the reading for tonight? Well, this is getting awkward.
There's profound constant.
Maybe they can explain themselves.
In the most generous sense, I would say we're cultivating revolutionary consciousness.
Yes, that's...
But more specifically,
Comrade Stepan is a...
Can you imagine anything dull?
It's really nothing like that. A book club is a place for talking...
That doesn't sound so bad. In any case, it's healthier than certain other after-hours pursuits.
We study all the foundational texts of Mazovian theory, of course. Just like...
It's really extraordinary.
And before that, we spent 6 weeks on state of...
You can feel your attentions.
We've also read Vertmerlin's The Megastructure of History.
Hablas.
The original Fizdale translation.
Obviously.
But, of course, our special emphasis is on Omikraz Mazov's most trusted lieutenant, the evangelist of the revolution.
It's hard to overstate how unimpressed he is that you've never heard of this world.
He also happens to be the greatest communist theorist after Mazov himself. He's
Placid. The young man sighs. His companion looks about.
Flinching. No.
We think of ourselves as more of an intellectual vanguard.
No, we're an independent organization. We acknowledge and respect the union's efforts, but our interests are more theoretical than Mr. Clare's. No, unfortunately, the communards were hunted down and killed nearly to a man. All that's left of them are bones.
His companions, he's practically itching to stick that thing.
Yes, like that. Can I hold it? It's heavier than I was expecting.
The attitude of a priest bearing one of the holy relics of his faith. Though it is long out of service, its power is evident to him. When he's finished, he returns the rifle to you with a nod of appreciation.
We typically only accept new members once per semester. There's this, but given that we have some extra seating at the moment...
Stepan, you can't...
I am serious. As materialists, we've got to adapt to conditions as they are. Besides, he'll still need to pass the interview portion of the entrance process. Assuming he's even still interested, that is. What do you mean? This is the reading group. We're in something of a rebuild.
Some of our former comrades didn't have the
Intellectual attrition is maybe the best way to describe it. Felix said he couldn't keep. We've tried recruiting new members, but unfortunately...
Don't forget about Maurice and the turnips.
Right.
Whatever this turnip business is about, you could learn a thing or two from them.
Cindy is... something of an ideological auxiliary, perhaps.
Yes, that's exactly how I would put it. And naturally, we support her radical counter-liberal aesthetics.
But she refuses to submit an essay, so we...
That doesn't stop her from using a room for studio space, of course. For starters, they love talking about beans. You're no iconoclast then. They're by far the most bean-centric...
Ah yes, the much maligned bean counters, ensconced in their think tanks, and...
Oh, please. There's nothing moderate about their love for counting beans. If I were a Gotwaldian, you see, iconoclasts claim to be communists. But in reality, it's an unfortunate...
He's studying...
Wow, a real intellectual, it sounds like.
Right. So
it was unbelievable.
He's basically used rejecting the whole foundation of inframaterialist theory. Simply that...
Susanna said...
For us, the question boiled down to, if you don't even accept the bell, what...
He just quit coming. We haven't...
They're the most depressing school of communism. They love writing long books with a patina of Mazovian theory to cover up their cheap psychologizing.
A gang of cheap psychologists.
It's okay for Uli to say that, because do you think all the problems in the world can be reduced to repressed sexual urges?
1000% yes.
Well, there you have it. You see, the Gottwald school look, of course not. The only people who actually call themselves liberal.
Basically indistinguishable.
Go ahead.
The young man frowned.
Nothing, just messing around.
They're watching those matchboxes awfully intently. It's almost as though they were trying to create the most unstable structure. Take a deep breath. You've survived the thing. Now, chin up. You've got this.
Oh, you want to start now?
You've caught him.
Go ahead and take a seat. Why don't you tell us a bit about the books you're interested in? And we'll just see where the conversation goes.
We prefer difficult.
That's enough, Uli. It's the genre to Comrade Ulix's book. Isn't all right? 16 days of...
This is a good start. They're starting to loosen up. You feel relaxed and in control.
It's no wonder you couldn't finish it. Incredible.
Makes you want to gouge your eyes out. Or pet second.
These kids are eating out of your hand, practically. Another quarter of an hour. Now you can sense things.
Now I'm curious. Do you think there's value in it? Okay, we'll bite. What sort of stories are we talking about?
A real-life procedural. Give them sex and drugs. They're clearly not getting any on their own.
Sounds like old-fashioned.
Yes, I'm rather curious myself.
Now you're getting somewhere. These boys aren't even bothering to contain their interest. Even the lieutenant seems...
But I still don't see...
In all fairness, the whole situation is rather complicated.
Another quarter of an hour disappears. The conversation bounces back and forth. Now you can sense...
Makes sense. I suppose we'll have to leave it there. But listen, Gendarme. We could...
Yes.
And with that, welcome to the Here's your first assignment. It's an overview of inframaterialist theory. Come back when you're done. Do be sure to take your time with the reading. We'll be eager to hear you.
Put your hands where I can see them. Show me your hands. This is the pegs.
Scavenged, battery powered police lights protrude from her back. Her hand is trembling from some sort.
Madame, please drop the firearm immediately.
You shouldn't be here. Something's very wrong.
Failure to comply. Suspected I am the party. Don't let all that your neck restraint. Corrupted.
Be careful, detective. Don't...
The situation looks bad. Calm yourself. Steady your breathing.
Ma'am, please. We want to help you, but you...
Disturbance reported. Authorized every force. Sector, take the ship, the goddamn pig shitbag.
As she waves her hands, you notice familiar looking animals.
Back up! Back up! Back up! Stay at one contact!
What's the situation, officer?
Law enforcement compromised! License and registration! License and registration! Commander!
She's losing it. One twitch and there would be.
Confiscated contraband! Restricted access! 2 kilometers!
I don't think she's on drugs. Being off drugs might actually be the problem here.
Alright, here's the plan. You fling the chain cutters in their face, already darting right, and immediately... No, that won't be necessary. Look closer. The gun, all through...
This is a police issue. Police weapons have bullets. What is this? Why did you sell me this?
She looks. Grab the gun. Right.
No one ever cares anymore. Why?
I need to figure out what to do with her now.
Nobody's ever around. Nobody ever comes to.
Her scratched skin is warm to the touch, but...
She's in a stupor. I've seen this before. God knows for how long. Honestly, I don't know. Dementia, probably. Dementia and Channel 8 and loneliness. Yeah, looks like... I don't think there's any need for that. Yeah, we could let Titus know. This is a perfect problem for the local peacekeepers to handle. They might even know our family. No, that is not an option. We'll either unload these to Titus and his guys, or I'll ask. Then we can ask him once we get back to the whirling. But we have to hurry, because it's late, and they might have already... But I think we're done here for now.
Please. Leave the radio.
She stands motionless.
Bueno, pues después de recuperar el arma, ya lo dejo por hoy y volveré mañana. Hasta luego.